Alright, welcome back to the very first episode of Magic the Gathering Arena Deck Reviews. So, your host will be me, the printer without any toner, your host with the most, the one and only one true printer. So today we have a pretty spicy deck list coming out of the Twitch TV tournament. This deck was piloted by AnnaMae, a really great streamer. I think you should check her out. I'll have her Twitter, I'll have all of her links down in the description. So let's get into the deck review. So it's a control shell with that just gets insane value, absolutely crazy amounts of value out of burn spells. So let's start off with the control portions of the deck, right? So there is no standard remand or anything like that. So we have or serum visions or anything crazy. So we have opt to dig, augur of bolus, search for Azcanta, um, chemistry's insights. It's a pretty good draw. I don't want to say engine, but you have really good instant speed options to draw. All these spells are pretty much just value when it comes down to this deck. So let's get down to the burn package, right? So we have the four main board shock. We have one double cast. We'll talk about that later. Four lightning strikes. Fiery cannonade to clear the board because there's so many token decks in standard right now. It's insane. We have the one skewer mainly just to take the place of just because I think four or eight burn spells really doesn't do the deck justice. There's been plenty of times where I've just been digging through the deck and I can't find any, so I feel like just having that one skewer the critics might do something eventually. So now let's get into the combo portion of the deck. So the way this deck wins is mainly just by burning out your opponents because you get insane amounts of value from the MVP of the deck, RAL Storm Conduit. So his abilities are pretty self-explanatory. He's basically a better gutter snipe. So his passive ability is whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, RAL Storm Conduit deals 1 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. He's +2 is scry 1 and his -2 is a double cast on stick, right? So in theory, the way you have your burn spells, you have shock, lightning strike, skewer the critics. So with RAL out on the board, you're already getting passive damage from your burn spells, which is already great. But his -2 is copies the spell. So from the copy already, that's just an automatic 1 damage. So we're playing 4 of Expansion Explosion. I personally don't use the explosion portion of the deck that much because that's not the way you're winning. The way you're winning is with expansion. So it copies target instant sorcery spell for mana cost 4 or less, right? So when it copies when you cast a spell, that's already 2 damage from RAL. So you get the shock or we'll say lightning strike for this example to resolve. That's 3 damage. The copy, that's another one from RAL, and then when it changes into the new spell, that's another one from RAL. So that's 5 damage for 2 mana already. And then when it copies or resolves, that's 8. And then on top of that, you'd have another expansion explosion. So for every burn spell, you're essentially getting 4, 5, or to 6 damage up just off of one spell just to rouse his -2 and his passive. So the whole point of the deck is you're controlling the board, you're slowly whittling down your opponent's life total until you can eventually deal upwards of 10 damage with just 6 mana in the late game. So now let's talk about the ways you can protect yourself to getting into the late game. You always have the burn package, as I've already discussed, but you also have Ionize, which not only is it dealing damage, it's also countering the spell for 3 mana. We've got the main board negates, and that's pretty much it. If you're interested in seeing the gameplay of this, leave a comment, like, subscribe, so on and so forth. But one thing I didn't really talk about was the land base. It's just 8 islands, 7 out. We're not really too double color intensive, so really you can be pretty lenient with the land base. But since we're only double colors, the 4 steam vents and the 4 sulfur falls to make sure everything's coming in untapped. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll leave all of AnnaMae's her links in the description. Like, subscribe, comment if you want to see more videos. You want me to continue the series. This has been the printer without any toner, your host with the most, one true printer.